Hello everybody, Jake, your resident content cowboy here, yeehaw, and here is everything you need to know about Dragapult before it releases. First, I want to talk about builds, and this actually might not be the best build for Dragapult, even though it seems like it. I want to show you something pretty exciting about this Pokemon. Before we jump in really quick, I know a lot of people hop into my video and they comment first on my video. I gotta say, I love it. I just want to see how many people we can get commenting first on this video. Leave first in the comments. Alright, let's move on. Again, this build for Dragapult I think is very, very strong. You are basic attacking all the time with this Pokemon, so you're just attacking faster and doing a ton of damage with critical hits. It's very good, but I will show you another build inside this video that might be extremely broken. Alright, the build that might be incredibly broken is something like this, some variation of this build. Basically, your Unite move being just a regular move means that you get to use Energy Amplifier and Buddy Barrier all the time, more than any other Pokemon throughout the entire game. This could be incredibly busted, and I'm going to show it to you in this video. One thing you need to know about this Pokemon is how its boosted attack works. It charges up this gauge that you're attacking an enemy with right here, and then once it becomes fully charged, you're doing more damage with your attacks, and you're doing damage in an area. So as long as you have this charge up, you're actually doing damage to more enemies more often. It's going to be huge in team fights if you can enter those fights with a fully charged boost gauge, and there are a few ways to do that. One of your first moves, Astonish, is a pretty basic move. It deals damage to enemies and it also slows them, and its range is incredible. It has even more range than your basic attack range. As you can see, your basic attacks right here, and then the range of that move, even longer. You also have Quick Attack as a starting move. It's a little bit of a dash that can get you out of bad situations, and it also increases your attack speed. So this can be used to get away from situations, and it can also be used to chase enemies down. Let's say the enemy is trying to flee, you dash after them, you get a burst of attack speed, and you can KO them. Once you evolve at level 5, you get a choice between Phantom Force and Dragon Dance. I think Phantom Force is the way to go. We're going to talk about Dragon Dance first because it's just incredibly fun. When you cast Dragon Dance, you get to create this circle around you somewhere, and then you pick which direction you go on it. Almost like a track. You're a train on a track, you throw it down, and you decide whether you go up or down, and it just attacks anything, prioritizing enemy Pokemon throughout your travel. Dragon Dance will also take advantage of Rapid Fire Scarf. It will end up proccing your Rapid Fire Scarf and taking advantage of your boosted attacks if you are in a boosted attack. It will also charge your boosted attack pretty easily because you'll be attacking kind of everything around. It's going to be really interesting to see how Dragon Dance works inside of real games. In some situations, it kind of makes you a really big target, but you can also cancel it early and dash out in a direction similar to how you dash out of Greninja's Unite move. This is also a move that can take you outside of the map. I don't know if this is going to create some interesting strategies or if it's just cheesy, but it's pretty cool to see. Your next choice is either Shadow Ball or Dragon Breath. Both actually combo in different ways with Dragon Dance. Let's start with Dragon Breath. Dragon Breath puts out an area effect damage that slows enemies and deals damage over time, like that, in a straight line. It also combos with Dragon Dance in a really interesting way. Not only can you cast it throughout Dragon Dance, and you'll kind of see it in this circle, so you know exactly where your Dragon Breath is going to go, and you can use it to damage enemies or zone them out. It also has an interesting interaction with its cooldown. So you can throw Dragon Breath, immediately Dragon Dance, and your Dragon Breath comes right back. Without question, if you're running Dragon Dance and Dragon Breath together, you're going to want to make sure you take advantage of this combo. Dragon Breath, you can immediately Dragon Dance, and Dragon Breath again, just raining fire all over the battlefield. The upgrade to Dragon Dance increases your HP when you hit with basic attacks as you're flying. So now you have this move that not only moves you around the battlefield, not only can you dash off of it, but you also can restore health by using it. It definitely feels like Dragon Dance Plus is extremely strong. The upgrade for Dragon Breath Plus just increases the amount of damage done and slow done to enemies. So it's a pretty cool combo set up with these two moves, but there's actually another interesting combo with Dragon Dance and Shadow Ball that I should show you. Now, I mentioned that Dragon Dance does work with the other moveset, but it actually has a cool interaction with Shadow Ball, and it's that when you hit an enemy with Shadow Ball and then you use your Dragon Dance, you're actually able to proc your Shadow Ball basically throughout the dance. So you can hit someone and then you can dance around them and make sure that you get your healing and extra damage from the Shadow Ball here. Again, you're able to throw it, throw your Dragon Dance, and get that extra damage on an enemy by destroying its mark. It's kind of a cool little combo with these two moves. I'm not sure what's going to be used with Dragon Dance. It feels like the other one is kind of perfectly set up for it, but Shadow Ball also gives you a lot of options. Let's talk about Phantom Force, a move that makes you invisible. Yes, another invisible Pokemon. It also charges your boosted attack gauge, and then once you pop out of it, you have increased attack speed. Without question, I think this is the better moveset for this Pokemon. It's just going to walk up to situations and do insane damage. Also, you can use it and then pop out immediately for that attack speed boost. So this is just... I mean, honestly, I think Phantom Force is kind of crazy. The ability to be invisible is often quite incredible. People are going to do some crazy things with Dragon Dance, but Phantom Force is just... oof. Phantom Force also has a built-in way to stack attack. This is very bizarre, but every time you KO an enemy, not with Phantom Force on or anything like that, but just because you have Phantom Force, you're going to increase your attack stat. I don't know if there's ever a stack to this. I would assume at some point it goes away, but maybe not. This might be a Pokemon that literally continues to increase attack throughout the entire match. Like, what? I think Phantom Force combos very well with Shadow Ball because you'll be able to set up situations where you move in for a fight, you kind of start to hit with Shadow Ball, and then you continue to attack them, and you're able to recover HP as you use it. It's just a very, very good setup for this move. You'll also notice that Shadow Ball's range, kind of similar to your range earlier with Astonish, is longer than your attack range and longer than your invisibility range. So this is the range enemies can notice you. If you get close to them, just like Sableye, you will pop out of invisibility after a little while. However, Shadow Ball has a larger range than Phantom Force, so you actually will be able to hit enemies with it and they will not know that you are there. It also has a little bit of a dash, so you're able to cast it and dash in a direction of your choosing. You can dash back, dash forward. You can use this to engage enemies. It's like it's taking kind of both parts of Astonish and Quick Attack a little bit and putting them in one move. The plus upgrade to Phantom Force lets you do damage to enemies and decrease the cooldown of Phantom Force, which is honestly, I really do feel like Phantom Force is kind of incredibly broken inside this game. Not only are you going to be able to pop out from being invisible, you're going to be able to go invisible kind of right away, because you're just going to be able to use, you know, an X attack, your Phantom Force, and then boop, you're invisible again. Bye, I'm using Phantom Force, I'm hitting with Shadow Ball, up, I'm coming right back, and I'm getting my cooldown because it's Phantom Force Plus. I just feel like getting more damage the more KOs you do, being able to use... Phantom Force is just so nuts. It's so nuts. The upgrade to Shadow Ball is just going to increase your damage based on when you explode the mark on an enemy and the base damage just from hitting them. So overall, just very nice upgrade for Shadow Ball. With Phantom Force, you can also set up moments where you sneak in and then start the fight with your Unite move, having given you a Buddy Barrier and an Energy Amp. It's just... I don't know. It's just nuts. Dragapult's Unite move is Dreep and Destroy. It deals damage to multiple enemies within the area effect of it, and it also does something very, very interesting. I mentioned to you earlier that Energy Amp and Buddy Barrier might be extremely good items for this Pokemon. Anytime you cast this, you can take advantage of Energy Amp and Buddy Barrier while they are not on cooldown. So you saw my Energy Amp just ticked off of cooldown right there. My Buddy Barrier is going to tick off of cooldown here in a moment. I can cast a Dreep and Destroy. I can proc my Energy Amp for this Pokemon right here, and as I continue to fight, I can run forward, pop off, cast it again, get my Buddy Barrier. Basically, you will have Buddy Barriers and Energy Amplifiers throughout the entire match once you unlock the Unite move. I'm not sure what build's going to be best, but honestly, this feels incredibly broken, and something I really think you should exploit if you are this Pokemon. We're talking about a 21% damage increase whenever you just tap a button, and then we're talking about a Buddy Barrier essentially every 30 seconds, I believe is the cooldown of it. So not only do you get a shield, but an ally gets a shield. It's just... I mean... it's kind of freaking insane. Also, the Unite move does target multiple enemies, but if only one is around, both will target one enemy. Couldn't do it right there because this little blue guy was around. Thanks a lot, buddy. Thanks a lot. Okay, now it will target one enemy. Perfect. It also does more damage the lower the enemy health is, so you can use it as an execute move, but I think you might just use it to start a lot of encounters with your energy amp and with your buddy barrier, depending on which items you run. Something I think that's important to know about this Pokemon is it feels like its laning phase and early game are a little not so hot, I would say. I think that's going to be the big time to punish this Pokemon before it gets really, really powerful, gets its Unite move, and is able to start, you know, stacking extra damage with Phantom Force and things like that. Punishing it early seems to be the strategy here because it feels like it really is going to struggle in lane. But then again, we're not going to know that until this Pokemon actually releases, which is going to be, I believe, later tonight, 11 p.m. PST. If that's the case, I will be streaming it live. What looks to be the most exciting moveset to you? Leave your answer in the comments below. And also, let me know if you were first. You got to tell me if you're last, too. All right. Love you all. Bye. Did I yeehaw? Yeehaw!